from 21 years. I make parole at 9 o'clock. About 4 hours later, I was walking around New Orleans looking like a dinosaur. Oh, so when did I realize I was getting out?
Yeah.
Let me not understate this. I thought I was getting out every month of every year. I thought this was gonna be my month. No, this is gonna be my month. Well, next month gonna be my month. If I would have accepted the finality of being in prison for 30 years that I was sentenced to, I would have attempted to escape. They would have had to shoot me because I am not the kind of person who feels I couldn't accept it. That's what I'll say. I couldn't accept it. I had to not accept it because of my personality. Because if I would have been like, yo, this is it, and I'm stuck here, they would have had hell. You would have met a different type of person.
The family of a rapper convicted of killing a man 14 years ago wants him released from prison.
After being granted, my parole hearing date was June 22nd. And on June 22nd, I didn't go to work that day. I was working at a shipyard.
Say, bro, real quick, a work release is when you kind of like a halfway house type thing?
Kind of, sort of. You're still a prisoner, yet every morning a van drops us off to jobs that we actually get paid for. Like, this ain't prison jobs. I was getting a check every 2 weeks. Well, every week I was getting paid a work release. So I was working at a shipyard in Houma. And that was probably the hardest labor. I didn't do the hardest labor that I've done during my prison term was in the last 4 months at that work release.
8-hour days, like?
Yeah, I was working 12 hours.
Oh, damn.
So 10, 12 hours, yeah, I wanted to be out there. So I didn't go to work that morning. I went in, had my hearing. And I remember it like yesterday, so I had the hearing, they granted me. And I just was overwhelmed. I remember crying a little bit on it, if y'all see the thing. And so I got granted parole at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 11 o'clock, they called me to the main office up front at the work release. And some guy came in and he talked to me. And we talked. And he was telling me, he was like, I'm from probation and parole. He said, I was sent here to come give you the rules and everything of parole. And I was like, okay. And he said, so, you know, within 48 hours, you're gonna have to go on Poland Street in New Orleans, this, that, and other. So I looked at him and I said, what you mean? I said, they haven't given me my date to go home yet, you know what I mean? And he was like, what you talking about? I said, they never told me when I'm going home. That man looked at me and said, son, that paperwork that I just had you sign? I said, yeah. He said, man, that was your release papers. And I just looked at him. I said, wait, run it by me again? He said, that paperwork that you just signed, did you read it? I said, no. So I grabbed it. Sure enough, it was release papers. I didn't even respond to him. I turned around and walked off, went in the dome and jumped on the phone and called my wife. Yeah. And I said, look, y'all need to come get me now before these people change their mind. So at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I was a free man, walking around New Orleans. So imagine, from 21 years, I make parole at 9 o'clock. About 4 hours later, I was walking around New Orleans looking like a dinosaur, like a fish out of water. Just like, what the is this? I hadn't seen the city in 21 years. You know what I mean?
Totally different?
Totally different. I was just like, wow. I didn't even know what to feel. Like, it happened so fast. I didn't get a chance to pack, unpack. I didn't get a chance to do anything. I was so excited that I didn't even know what to feel. Like it never, I never had time to process what had just happened. It was like I was free after 21 years in prison.